But we begin in North Carolina, where earlier today, Vice President Kamala Harris unveiled her plans to tackle one of the top issues for voters this election cycle, the cost of living. Harris pitched a handful of comprehensive new policies focused on lowering costs for American families, including a ban on price gouging for food and groceries, an expanded child tax credit, tax cuts for regular income earners as opposed to the rich, a $25,000 subsidy for first-time home buyers, and a cap on prescription drug costs. The VP spoke about the progress the economy has made since the COVID pandemic, which started 4 years ago and devastated the economy, causing inflation to spike. And she emphasized that while inflation has cooled, there's still work to do.
Still, we know that many Americans don't yet feel that progress in their daily lives. Costs are still too high. And on a deeper level, for too many people, no matter how much they work, it feels so hard to just be able to get ahead. As president, I will be laser focused on creating opportunities for the middle class that advance their economic security, stability, and dignity. Together, we will build what I call an opportunity economy.
Harris also drew a direct contrast between her plan and Donald Trump's plan, or lack thereof, calling out the speech he delivered in the same state earlier this week.
2 days ago, Donald Trump was here in North Carolina. He said he was going to talk about the economy. I think you all watched. You know what I'm about to say. But he offered no serious plans to reduce costs for middle-class families. No plan to expand access to housing or health care. And that, actually, I think for most of us, was not surprising. Because we already know his plans. We know the Project 2025 agenda.
It comes after Trump's, quote, news conference at his multi-million-dollar Bedminster Golf Club yesterday, where the initiation fees are even higher than the $200,000 cost to join Mar-a-Lago. Town & Country magazine estimates the fees are up to $350,000. And during those remarks, he rambled on about bird cemeteries and Time magazine with zero policy proposals, while being surrounded by groceries some poor low-level aide probably set up and that Trump probably had never seen before in his whole entire pampered life, and that were sitting out in the hot summer sun for over an hour. But while Trump is flailing, Vice President Harris, who has been a presidential candidate for a little less than a month, is overseeing a pretty picture-perfect campaign. It is actually hard to overestimate just how well-run her campaign has been. From their communications team and witty, rapid response statements that tear into Donald Trump and J.D. Vance by not going too low, but rather just low enough to throw hilarious shade, to their social media team's ability to connect with Gen Z and embrace the memes while always being very demure, very mindful. Not to mention the record-shattering amount of money they've pulled in, hundreds of millions of dollars, which they are spending in the right way. The campaign launched a $90 million advertising effort in swing states just for this month, even running ads on Fox during the daytime and spending 10 times as much as Trump on digital advertising, while also running a strong ground game, opening hundreds of field offices in every winnable state because ads are great, but field is what wins elections. Starting today, the Harris-Walz campaign is kicking off a weekend of action, which will include more than 2,800 grassroots events in battleground states. Things like Callin' for Kamala, phone banks, Hound Lovers for Harris meetups at dog parks, and organizing booths at cultural events like Wisconsin's Africa Fest. And on Sunday, Harris-Walz and their spouses will also be taking part in a bus tour across the crucial state of Pennsylvania. But even so, it is important to remember that you can have the best-run campaign in the world, and none of it would matter if you don't have a great candidate. But that is exactly what the Democrats found with Kamala Harris. The energy and the momentum that she's been able to generate prove that she was built for this moment. And the contrast between her and Trump could not be more stark. And she doubled that by doing something kind of revolutionary, just picking a running mate she vibes with, while Trump and Vance are rarely even seen together. All of this is highlighted in a new video of Harris and Walz, where the two are just having a sit-down conversation about their lives, food, and music, as well as the issues. Kind of like a TV talk show. Kamala and the Coach. Catch it on Peacock or Hulu or Netflix. Proving again that unlike the golden toilets washed-up TV star and the hedge fund Yaley woman hater, the Democratic candidates are normal, relatable, and just downright fun and joyful people.
Like I have white guy tacos and
What is
like
that?
black,
Like mayonnaise and tuna? What are you doing?
pretty much ground beef and cheese.
That's
and,
okay. Do you put any flavor in it?
No.
Oh.
Here's the deal.
I called
was hoping
you,
maybe
Tim.
we wouldn't have to.
I called you, Tim.
Yes,
You didn't answer, Tim.
I know.
What happened?
The most important call of my life. It popped up, and we didn't recognize the caller ID, and it went to voicemail.
Joining me now is Olyncia Johnson, senior advisor to the 2020 Biden-Harris campaign, and Rick Wilson, co-founder of the Lincoln Project and former Republican strategist. I cannot not go to Rick. I'm so sorry. Normally I would do ladies first, but Rick, this calls to you. I mean, look, this is how the Republicans, okay, your former team, because look, you used to run some pretty bomb ads. You're really good at this. I know you're good at campaigning. This is how conservatives are reacting to Harris and Walz talking about food and white guy tacos.
Right.
Mike Cernovich pointed to a 2016 award-winning recipe of Waltz's that included paprika, chili powder, and garlic powder. It's like, they know spices. And he said conservative radio's Larry O'Connor said, it's like a minstrel show lampooning white Midwestern stereotypes. Ben Shiro felt the need to fact-check that Europeans liked spices so much that they literally got involved in several hundred years of war in order to determine control of the spice trade. And Senator Cruz put the capper on it. He said Hispanics are not tacos. Rick. What is happening?
Joy, these people are, their brains are so broken. Their brains are so broken at this point. I mean, they're literally spending millions of hours panicking about Tim Walz's bland taco recipe. You know, this is a party that is so broken brain, that is so completely off the rails. They're in such a deep panic. By next week, they're going to like wonder if he's gotten, if his breakfast cereal is approved by some sort of Midwestern board of blandness. They are in a panic. Going, I am eating this up with a spoon because these people are absolutely hopeless. They've got nothing. They got nothing.
Nothing. I mean, you've got to have something. You can't counter. You have to have some kind of a strategy. Olyncia, it is so wild. I cannot believe they are fact-checking whether or not Tim Walz, or basically they're like, white people like spices too. Like, that's their answer. That is literally their reaction to Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. White people like spices. Like, okay, so that's your answer to this case. Okay, ma'am, let me go to these polls. This is why they're panicking. Okay, it's not just the fact that they're mad. His tuna's spicy too. His tuna could be spicy. Why y'all gotta do that to him? Like, are you defending him? Are you mad at him? Do you like him? Pennsylvania, Harris up 1. Michigan, Harris up 3. Wisconsin, Harris up 3. Georgia, even. North Carolina, Harris 1. Arizona, Harris 2. Nevada, Trump 3. That's what they're mad about, right?
Oh my goodness, they're mad that they are behind the polls, but they're also behind in being the person that somebody wants to have a beer with, because they're the ones that came up with that analogy, right? It's actually really funny to watch them go hysterical with this analogy. I mean, even Donald Trump decided to bring cereal boxes out this week. So it's just like, it is the wildest.
I haven't seen Cheerios in a while.
It is the wildest attack on grocery store items and everyday items versus actually a policy. And to be honest, I was listening a little bit to Trump this week, that weird press conference or whatever you call it. And I can only imagine that people are kind of just tired of him talking in circles about the economy and grocery store and bacon prices and all of these things that he's just making up on the fly. And then they're going after the nicest guy ever. I mean, like, how can you, like, Republicans liked him in Congress. They're going after him, talking about his food choices versus the fact that they actually have policy positions that majority of Americans, including those who vote Republican, actually support, getting prices lower in grocery stores so that people can buy more seasonings right? Bringing the cost of ownership down, putting a
Lowry's
cap on
seasoned
the
salt
price
for
point.
all.
All of the things, right? They're mad we're having a stake on seasoning.
I mean, look, and it's like, y'all, it's okay. If you want to put Lowry's on y'all food, you can. Everybody can have Lowry's. That's what the Harris Waltz team is about. They're like, everyone can spice in their food as much as they want or as little as they want. It's okay.